Hello students, today in this lecture I am going to explain you about the motional EMF. So what is the meaning of motional EMF? When a conducting rod is moved in a region of magnetic field in such a way that it cuts to the magnetic lines of force, then across the ends of the rod an EMF is induced. See here, when a conducting rod is moved in a region of magnetic field in such a way, it is moved in such a way, is moved in such a way that it cuts to flux lines, then an EMF is induced across the ends of conductor. This EMF is called the motional EMF. This EMF is called motional EMF. Now see here, you can understand here, suppose on the plane of paper, this represents the uniform magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of paper but in downward direction. Means here flux lines are normal to the plane of paper and it is in downward direction. Means it is this way. Here these are the flux lines. This is the flux line. This is the flux line. Here it is, the flux line is this, it is directed downward, and if you move the conductor in this way, then it will cut to the flux lines. If you move it in this way, it is cutting to the flux lines. In every case, here when the conductor is moved horizontally such that the flux lines are normal to the plane of paper, an EMF will be induced. But if it will be dropped in this way, then what will happen? It is not cutting any flux lines, it is moving along the flux lines, that therefore no EMF will be induced. So what is the condition of induction of EMF? When it is moved, conductor is moved in such a way, then in such a way that it cutting the flux lines, then EMF will be induced, and it will remain induced only so long it is in motion. It is clear? This EMF persists only so long it is in motion. It is in motion means the conductor is in motion. Now you can see here what is the cause of this, so that you will see. I will explain that. Suppose this is the conductor which is situated on the plane of paper and magnetic lines of force are perpendicular to the plane of paper in downward direction. Let the length of the conductor we have taken as L. This is the length of the conductor. When it is moved with a velocity v in this direction, here we have assumed that the magnetic field intensity is V. You can see once again, here magnetic field B is perpendicular to the plane of paper in downward direction. Conductor of length L is situated on the plane of paper and it is moved horizontally. It is moved in this way. So what will be the induced EMF? So induced EMF will be given by, in this case, it will be E equals to VBL. What is V? velocity with which it is moved in the magnetic field. What is B? It is the strength of magnetic field. And what is L? It is the length of conductor. So this will be the formula of induced EMF when the conductor is moved normal to the magnetic field in such a way that it is cutting to the flux lines. This thing is important. Cutting off the flux lines is important. It is clear. If it do not cut during the motion, it do not cut to the flux lines, no EMF will be induced. Now see here what will happen due to why EMF is inducing. So you can see here on the next page I am drawing the diagram. Derivation of the formula of induced EMF. Derivation of the formula of induced EMF of the formula of motional EMF. Here we call it as motional EMF. We can also call it as induced EMF because this EMF is inducing because of the motion of the conductor in the magnetic field region in such a way that it is cutting to the flux lines. It is clear. So here we have assumed that there is a uniform magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of paper in downward direction. These crosses are representing to the uniform magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of paper in downward direction. This is a conductor of length L. Here it is a conductor whose length is L, and I have made like this. This conductor we can name as, in your book it is named as JK. So here it is J and it is K. And it is moved with a velocity V. Magnetic field is B. So see here, you can see when the conductor is moved in the magnetic field region, then the free electrons which are, because this is the conductor, therefore it will have free electrons. It will have the free electrons as well as it will have positive atoms, positively charged atoms, because the atoms which will lose the electrons will become positive ions. So here I am showing one free electron and one positive ion. There will be number of free electrons and number of positive ions. When it is moved in this magnetic field region, then these charges are also moving in the magnetic field region. And as we know that when a charged particle moved in the magnetic field, it experiences a Lorentz force. What will be the magnitude of that Lorentz force? So magnitude of Lorentz force you can see here. Here I am writing, let us consider a conductor JK of length L is moved in a magnetic field, in a uniform magnetic field region perpendicularly with a velocity V, with a V in such a way that it cuts to flux lines. It is cutting to the flux lines. So see here, Lorentz force acting on the free electron. Lorentz force acting on the free electrons present inside the conductor, present inside conductor. These free electrons are present inside the conductor. So how much force will act upon this? So it will be given by, this is the magnetic force. What is the formula? QVB sin theta. So what is the charge on the free electron? So charge on the free electron, Q is equal to E. It is clear, E. It is moving with what velocity? Since the conductor is moving with velocity v, therefore free electrons are also moving with the same velocity. So v into b into sine theta. Theta is angle between direction of velocity and direction of magnetic field. You can see here, velocity is along the plane of paper, magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of paper downward, means the angle will be 90 degree, means it will be equal to EVB. It will be equal to EVB. Now the force will also act upon the positive ions, but what will happen? That force will not create any effect on the positive ions because they are very tightly bounded with one another. It's clear. This positive charge is associated with the atom and atoms are tightly bounded. Therefore, though the magnetic force QVB is acting, in positive ion we will take QVB. Magnetic force on the positive ion is acting, but that force will not make any effect on the position of positive ions. But these electrons which are free, which are randomly moving here and there, they will start moving in a definite direction. What will be that direction? So first we will determine the direction of this force. So force we can find on the positive charge by using the Fleming's, by using the right hand rule. It's clear. As we know that Lorentz force is given by this formula, vector F equals to Q vector V cross vector B. Whatever will be the direction of V cross B, that will be the direction of force on positive charge. So see here, you can see V is directed in this direction. This is the direction of V. Magnetic field is in this direction. When you will apply that Lorentz, that right hand palm rule, you will find that what will be the direction of thumb. So you can see here, this is palm is along the vector V, curling of fingers is downward. So thumb is pointing towards J, thumb is pointing towards J. Therefore force will act on the positive charge towards J. But this is the free electron. So on the free electron, this force will act in what direction? This force will act in this direction. Means magnetic force will act here in this direction. While on the positive charge, on the positive ions, it will act in this direction. You can see here. Because of this, so this force is acting, this force on the free electrons is acting towards end K of conductor. It is acting towards the end K of conductor. Because of this force, what will happen? Free electrons will start accumulating at the end K, and there will be the deficiency of free electrons at the J. When free electrons will accumulate at the end K, there will be the same amount of deficiency of electrons at the end J, and due to this, what will happen? End K will become negatively charged and end J will become positively charged. It's clear? As there will be more and more accumulation, this will become more and more negatively charged and this end will become more and more positively charged. Because of this production of opposite charges at the ends, what will happen? An electric field will also develop across the conductor. An electric field will also develop across the conductor. And what will be the direction of that electric field? Direction of that electric field will be from where to where? From J to K. From J to K. It's clear? Now see here. As we know that electric field E equals to potential difference divided by length, because electric field intensity is potential gradient. We know electric field intensity is equal to the potential gradient. So suppose at any instant potential difference between the ends of this conductor is capital V. Its length we have taken how much? L. So how much length is taken? L. So how much will be the electric intensity along the conductor? It will be equals to V upon L. Now because of this electric field, what will happen? Positive charges will experience force, positive ions will experience force in the direction of electric field, and this force will be electrical. This force will be electrical. Why it will be electrical? You can see here, Q charge when placed in the electric field E, it is experiencing how much electric force? F E equals to this. While here what will be? You can see here I am making this, you can see here it will be this. On the negative electrons it will be towards the end J, on the positive ions it will be towards the end K. Now see here, as we know that this is equals to what? If you see on the free electrons, so it will be equal to E into capital E, which can be further denoted written as this. You can see here, as there will be more and more accumulation of electrons at the end K, as more and more free electrons will accumulate at end K, there will be the deficiency of free electrons at the end J. Therefore potential difference will increase. Potential difference will increase, therefore electric field will also increase. Electric field is increasing, therefore this electric force will also increase. And the moment this electric force becomes equals to the magnetic force, what will happen? The motion of free electrons will stop. And why it will stop? Because they were moving statically. They were moving statically. Their velocity was very, very less, nearly 0.1 10 to the power minus 4 millimeter per second. It's clear. So since they were moving very statically, therefore what will happen? As soon as these two forces will become equal, free electrons will come to the rest. Further accumulation will stop. It's clear. So see here, I am writing on the next page. You can see here, because of the magnetic force, which is Lorentz force acting on free electrons towards the end K, directed towards end K, free electrons will start accumulating at the end K, while there is an equal amount of deficiency. Of electrons at the end J, due to which an electric field will be produced all along length of conductor. directed from end J to end K. All these things already I have explained. It's clear whichever I am writing, that already I have explained. Now which is this electric field is given by E equals to V upon L. Therefore, electric force, here I am talking the forces which are acting on the free electrons, because there is no meaning of the forces acting on the positive ions. Why? Because those forces are not making any effect on the position of the positive ions. So electric force acting on free electron, besides magnetic force, now they will also experience the electric force, and this is given by E into capital E, that is equals to E into V upon L. It's clear. As there will be increasing accumulation of free electrons at the end K, potential difference V will increase, and therefore force acting on electric force acting on free electrons will also increase. Now when this electric force becomes equals to the magnetic force, what will happen? Electrons will come to the rest. When electric force becomes equals to magnetic force, electrons will come to rest. It's clear. Now see here, under that condition Fe equals to Fm. Fe already you have seen that it is EV upon, this is here potential difference we will denote by some other symbol. So our velocity you use the symbol small v. Here in velocity we will use the symbol small v. Otherwise there will be confusion here. So you can take small v here, this. It's clear. So that there is no confusion, this is potential difference and this is the velocity. It is clear. Here also I am making correction. This is small vbl. It is clear. Small vbl. There should be no confusion. This. So see here, it is equals to EV upon L, and this is what? E into small v into b. Small v refers to the velocity, it is potential difference. So E and E will be cancelled, that V equals to VBL. This is the formula of the induced EMF. It is clear. By this way you can find the induced EMF. Now see here, why it is not inducing when conductor is not cutting to the flux lines during their motion. Suppose this is the direction of magnetic field And when conductor will fall in this direction, what will happen? Its velocity is also in the same direction. And when both are in the same direction, then what will happen? No magnetic force will act. Fm will be 0 because it is QVB sine 0 degree. It is clear? That will become 0. No magnetic force will act, therefore there will be no movement of the free electrons. There will be no movement of the free electrons and EMF will not be induced. So this is the formula of the motional EMF. Now one more thing, suppose if the magnetic field is directed in this direction and conductor is moving along this. So all of you remember one thing, that velocity component which is along the magnetic field will not induce any EMF. EMF will be induced only because of that velocity component which is normal to the magnetic field. So here we can resolve this velocity component V along the magnetic field. What will be along the magnetic field? V cos theta. What will be the normal to the magnetic field? V sin theta. As we know that V cos theta and V sin theta is the complete resolution of this V, because these two are the normal components. It's clear? So because of this, no EMF will be induced. EMF will be induced because of V sin theta. So what will be the induced EMF? You can see here, in place of small v, you will take V sin theta into B into L. That is V equals to VBL sin theta. This will be the formula. Now after this I will explain you that power which will be induced. It's clear? And the current which will be produced. Current and power. So you can see here, and you can see here we have taken a frame in the U shape. There is a U shape frame whose resistance is negligible. It's clear? And this is a uniform magnetic field perpendicular to the plane of paper in downward direction. And U-shaped frame is situated on the plane of paper. And its resistance we have, and this frame is conducting frame. It is a conducting frame, but the resistance is negligible. It's clear? And this is a conductor. Here we have taken this as L. There is a conductor whose one end is resting here, other end is resting here on the other arm of this U-shaped frame. This is one arm of U-shaped frame, this is the other arm of U-shaped frame, and this conductor whose length is L is resting over it, and now it is moved in this direction. It's clear? With the velocity V. With the velocity V. So see here magnetic field is, you can take B. Here the resistance of conductor I have taken as R. Resistance of conductor I have taken as R. It's clear? So see here, you can write that thing. Let us assume a conductor of length L and having the resistance R is resting on the two arms of a U-shaped frame, which is situated horizontally in a uniform magnetic field region, which is acting normal to the plane of U-shaped frame. It's clear? So that you can write. So what will be the induced EMF here? Induced EMF will be VBL. This will be the induced EMF. What is the current induced? What will be the current induced? Because its resistance is negligible, its resistance is capital R. So what will be the current produced? Current produced will be equals to I equals to V upon R, that is equals to VBL upon R. It will be equal to VBL upon R. It's clear? Now see here, this current will be produced. What will be the direction of this current? How can you find the direction of the current? So see here, there is one way by which you can find very simply that what will be the direction of current. Here once again I am making this, you say, frame, and this is the conductor. So as you have seen in the previous explanation, this end was positively charged and this end was negatively charged. Therefore this conductor can be assumed as the source of EMF. It can be assumed as the source of EMF, and now we are redrawing it like this. It is clear? When it will be moved, it will become a source of EMF. And how much EMF will be induced? V equals to VBL. What will be the polarity? This side will be positive, J will be positive, K will be negative. In what direction it will set up the current? So in what direction it will set up the current? You can see here. Current will flow through this way. Current is flowing in this way. It's clear? Means if you see here, here it will flow in this direction. This direction of current we can find by using the Fleming's right hand rule. As we know that Fleming's left hand rule, it is used for determining the force acting on a current carrying conductor placed in the uniform magnetic field. It is clear? What is Fleming's right hand rule? It is for determining the direction of induced current. So you can see here, how will you determine the direction of induced current? So you see here, you take the, here perhaps it will be visible to you, I am showing you, this is the conductor, this is the right hand. It's clear? This is the thumb, forefinger and middle finger. All the three should be perpendicular to each other. So what will be, this will I, this is B and this is V. Means if it is in the direction of V, it is in the direction of B, then it will give the direction of induced current. So here in this case you adjust it. B is vertically downward, B you have adjusted downward. It is clear? B you have adjusted downward. V, it is in this direction, so it is thumb is in that direction. So fingers are pointing in what direction? You can see here, from here to here, from this to this. So this will be the direction of induced current. So here direction of induced current is this. So here it will be like this. So by Fleming's right hand rule, how will you find? You stretch the thumb, forefinger and middle finger in such a way that all the three are mutually perpendicular. So you remember in this way, I, B and V. If it is in the direction of V, this is B, then this will be the direction of I. So this way you can find the direction of current. Now see here, this much current will be produced. When current will pass through this, then it will experience a magnetic force. What is the direction of that magnetic force? As we know that a current carrying conductor experiences a magnetic force when moved in the magnetic, when situated in the magnetic field. IBL sin theta. A current carrying conductor placed in the external magnetic field will experience a magnetic force given by IBL sin theta, where theta is what? Angle between I and B. So here I is this and B is normal to the plate of paper, theta will be 90. What will be the force? Magnetic force acting on conductor JK, on conductor JK. So it will be equal to F equals to I into B into L into sine 90 degree. I already you have found, it is VBL into BL into 1. So it will be equal to VB square L square upon R. So force is acting. What will be the direction of force? That you can find by Fleming's left hand rule. What is Fleming's left hand rule? You can see here, this is I, this is B, this is F. So here you can see I is in this direction, B is downward. It's clear? You can see here I, it is in this direction, B is downward. This is the B. You can see this is the direction of I, this is B. So thumb is in this direction, thumb is acting in this direction, so thumb is showing the direction of force. So what will be the direction of force on the JK? On JK, force will act in this direction, this force will act in this direction. It's clear? So what will be the motional power? What is the motional power in order to move it with a constant velocity v? So motional power dissipated will be, you can see here on the next page, here motional power will be equal to dissipated. It will be equal to P equals to F into V. F already you have found, V B square L square upon R into V. So P equals to V square B square L square upon R. So this is the formula of the motional power. It's clear? So this way we have deduced the formula of motional power. It's clear? So now we will do the remaining part in the next lecture. So thank you.